So at work, it's a really, really stressful time. And so what I have always tended to do is guess what? Eat. I'm a binger. I mean, that's been a problem for me. When I feel stress, I just want to eat and I get that I don't care attitude. I didn't want to do that. I started really reflecting about myself and the why I was doing that binge eating. I started seeking out what I could possibly do on social media and I found Fit Body Boot Camp Highland Park. So I tried it out and that's how it all started. And so going to boot camp, really the workout didn't just help me to exercise and feel good physically. It made a difference in my reflection and really thinking back to, no, this is not what I want for myself. It's given me the time and space to honor me.
Welcome back, you guys, to another episode of the Beyond the Scale podcast. I am your host, Katherine, and today we have a very special guest. We have a client from Highland Park Fit Body Bootcamp. We have Lena Mora joining us, and Lena has been a client for almost a year at Highland Park, and she has hit over 100 bootcamp sessions. And we are going to dive in today into her personal journey with health and fitness and how just being a member at Fit Body Bootcamp has not only helped her physically, but mentally as well. So welcome, Lena, to the podcast.
Thank you, Mary. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you on. And I will say, as I was doing my research and you and I were connecting offline before the episode together, I noticed on your social media page, you're a big dancer and you're into dancing. So I definitely want to talk about that today. And I am guessing you probably break it down at boot camp. We have a few clients who do that all the time, and I love it. So let's dive right into how you discovered Fit Body Bootcamp.
Well, I discovered Fit Body Boot Camp in December of last year because I mean, it was actually a personal reason. I was moving from home in Laverne to helping support my mom here in South Pasadena because she's got health issues. So I was really looking for something to help me out. Additionally, I had just gone through some stress at work and I was really feeling anxiety and I had that extra desire to want more. And so I started seeking out what I could possibly do on social media and I found Fit Body Boot Camp Highland Park. So I tried it out and that's how it all started.
Awesome. What was your health and fitness like before joining Fit Body? Did you go to another gym? Did you work out on your own?
So, as you mentioned, I love to dance, and a part of my workout was going to Zumba. I wasn't consistent with it during the week, so it was just mostly on the weekends. I go to the gym every once in a while, but nothing consistent. So it's just kind of here and there when I felt like it and when I had time.
Yeah, yeah. What was it about boot camp that made you consistent compared to Zumba and everything else that you had tried in the past?
Well, actually, some of the basic reasons are number one, the workouts are short and sweet. I happen to have a boot camp really nearby my mom's. So it's like about a mile away. I could just about walk. And the environment. I mean, we'll talk more about it, but I just really connected. I love my coach. I have, once I got started, we started a challenge right away. So I just was able to connect and got all in right away. And from that day on, I haven't let up. So it's just become a part of me.
I love it so much. And you mentioned offline before the show that you started in December. And I was thinking that's a very challenging time to start a new workout program in a new gym because it's the holidays. It's so easy to say, I'm going to wait until the new year to start something new, to start taking care of myself. But you started in December. So, talk to us a little bit about how you got yourself motivated to start at a time like that.
So at work, December is a reporting time for me. I'm a coach. I work with teachers. And so in December, I report on some of my findings and the data that I've collected. And it's a really, really stressful time. And so what I have always tended to do is guess what? Eat. I'm a binger. I mean, I've that's been a problem for me. When I feel stress, I just want to eat, and I get that I don't care attitude, or I've
Mhm,
gotten that I don't care attitude. And so I didn't want to do that. And so that's when I reached out, was in December for that reason. And then the reasons I mentioned before about caring for my mom. And so I was just all in at that point. I really wanted something to help me, and this did it. So it didn't matter that it was December, I needed it.
mm,
And in addition, the benefits that I got from going to boot camp, they just really helped me with the stress level, because before I would, like I said, I'd binge eat, and I just have that I don't care attitude. And then I started really reflecting about myself and the why I was doing that binge eating. And
mm,
so going to boot camp really, that the workout didn't just help me to exercise and feel good physically, it made a difference in my reflection and really thinking back to, no, this is not what I want for myself.
yeah,
So it was just so much more than December.
mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I want to unpack that a little bit. And I really appreciate you sharing your experience with binge eating because you hear people a lot talk about their struggles with binge eating, alcohol, self doubt, consuming too much social media, television. They go all in, which sounds like you. It's kind of like that all or nothing mentality. And they try so hard to give up one of those things. But oftentimes, if you don't replace it with something else, it's very hard to just stop eating, to stop drinking, to stop consuming things that you know aren't good for you. And if you don't have another way, another outlet, or something to replace it with, you oftentimes start doing it again. And it sounds like to me, you replaced binge eating during this crazy season for you with Fit Body Boot Camp. So you were able to take that stress out in a different way, in a healthy way. And I think that's a powerful message because it's not easy to stop binge eating. I'm sure that you even have times now, like I have definitely experienced that myself with eating where like it's a comfort thing for me, especially in the evenings when you're stressed out when my kiddos go to bed. It's like I recently got this pumpkin spice popcorn. Oh my goodness. I'm a huge pumpkin spice person and it only has 6 servings, so I felt okay about that, but it's like this big and I finished it last night and I'm like, "Oh man, I can't let myself do that again." But it was like every night I was just eating it like mindlessness, I wasn't even thinking about it. And so I think that's just a great message to our audience is that if you can find something to replace that bad habit with, it oftentimes becomes easier.
And then you mentioned that mindlessness, and I think that's a big part of the binge eating. It's mindlessness. It's not focusing on the important stuff.
Mhm.
And so going to boot camp helps me focus on the little things too. It's like, oh, look, I have this muscle that I hadn't seen before. I feel good. I like the way it looks. So it kind of transfers over. It's like, oh, wait, look, you don't
Right.
have to binge eat. Like,
Right.
it's just like reframing the mind. It
Yes.
helps it makes a difference, and it affects so many areas of my life.
Yes.
So that's what I love. That's my why. That's my why beyond the scale. That's what I was trying to say.
Yes,
And
great. And that was actually one of my next questions was what is your why? And I feel based on what you've already told us that I know a little bit about your why, but maybe unpack that a little bit more for us. Like why on the days where you're not feeling motivated to get up. And I haven't asked this yet, are you a morning workout person or an evening workout person?
I am an evening workout person only because I have to get up for work early, and I'm not really willing to do the 5:30. So it's a little
Right.
too early. So I go in the afternoon. But yeah. I can explain a little bit more about that.
Okay, yeah. So this is going to be like a two-part question. So first is, how do you stay motivated on those days where you don't feel like doing it? So what is your why that is getting you to boot camp? And then the second part is, what has your transformation been like physically and mentally since starting boot camp?
My why for getting to boot camp every single day, it's really about the mental health that I gain. Um, on the days where I'm just not feeling it, it actually doesn't take long for me to reframe my thinking, because it's just a matter of saying, I really need to do this for myself. This is for you. So that kind of just tends to get me up. I've not really been one to not want to exercise. So I guess that's one of my advantages. But it's a mental game for me. It's a mental game. Once I talk to myself about it, I'm able to get up and go.
Mm.
Sorry, that's
I
not
like
a
that, the
very good
positive.
answer, but
No, that's great. That positive self-talk,
mm,
because that's so beneficial. Many people, what I've noticed is they don't even know how to do that for themselves. Like they're looking for so many outside resources to motivate them. So many extrinsic things to motivate them, but they need to be looking from the inside on how they can motivate themselves.
right, exactly. And for people maybe who really struggle with that, I'm trying to think of a good suggestion. I
Yeah,
that
it's
that's a tough one.
It is. And for me, what has worked is like you just start building momentum as you put in the reps. And I think the more that you go, the more that you focus on yourself in the gym, or maybe it's your nutrition, the more that you focus on your nutrition, the easier it gets. So you just have to you have to continue to do the reps, and then you start to build momentum when you see results.
And build community. Open yourself up. Allow yourself to build community with the people around you.
Mm,
I've learned from people at the gym. I've become friends with people at the gym. I've really asked a lot of questions of my coach and learned. I think I've helped to stretch my coach as well, because I'm open and I'm asking. And so by really being involved, it encourages me to want to go every day.
yes.
So that makes a huge difference. And I don't always go at the same time. I know we recommend that, but it doesn't always work for me that way. But I'm still open and friendly, and again, I allow myself to stretch and just be myself, and that's a big part of my why, is that going to the gym has really allowed me and opened my eyes to recognizing who I am.
Mm,
um I've grown up. I lived at home. I went to school. I mean, I kind of did everything that my parents wanted me to do. Then I went from home to married life to being a mother. And and if I had to go back and tell myself something, my younger self something, it would definitely be to stop and notice who you are. I mean, it sounds like such simple words, but sometimes, I mean, we live in a hustle and bustle world that we don't do that. And so now I feel like I get to do that. And when I go
mhm.
to the gym, I get to just open up and do and be me. And so it's just, that's why I can get up and go without struggling with it, because I want to be there. And it's just so much more than the scale. It's about loving myself. It's about having confidence and giving myself the space for that.
Yes. Yes. Preach. I love that so much. I love that you mentioned that, like, that is your time and it's all about you. So, like, you are a wife, you're a mom, you're an employee, you're a daughter, you're helping your family, but that time is only about you. You don't have to worry about anyone else, and you're building yourself. I love that you point that out, because that's so many women. I mean, it doesn't matter where we're at either a mom, or you're single, or you're not even married, or you're just out of college. Like, we struggle with feeling guilty about taking care of ourselves. It doesn't matter what phase of life you're in, we always feel that little level of guilt when we take time for ourselves. And it's so important. There's just so many benefits to it. And by us taking that time for ourselves, we're able to take care of everyone else around us so much better.
You really touched on emotion for me when you talked about guilt. I just got like goosebumps because it's true. It really, I mean, I think that as women, we feel that and it's so it happens so often that it feels natural
Yes,
to be guilty, and we shouldn't. We really need to stop and notice,
right,
take note of that, and start doing things for ourselves, because
right.
that's why we're here. We're meant to take care of ourselves. We're meant to be happy. We're meant to know who we are. And so this is a big step for me, to in doing that.
Yes. Well, that is so amazing. Have you had any physical transformation? I know you've definitely had a mental transformation, but if you had any physical transformation since starting boot camp?
Yes. So I won the first challenge.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I lost 16 pounds, and now I've lost more than that. That was the challenge. I lost 16 pounds, and then I gained 5 pounds of muscle, so that was amazing. And I'm 52, by the way, so I'm proud of that. That I had such awesome gains. Now I'm up to 22 pounds lost.
Wow. That's incredible. That's
Yes, thank
amazing.
you. No,
You
wait a
are
minute. I'm so sorry. 32 pounds.
32
32
pounds. No
pounds.
way.
Yeah, because I'm at, yeah, 160. So yeah, 32 pounds. Awesome. You
That's
know
a,
what? I just keep going now, and I'm not even really thinking. It's truly is beyond the scale for me.
yeah,
Truly is beyond the scale. The weight is like, I look so much better and I feel so much better, but it's just not even about that anymore.
right. Right. It's just a part of your routine. It's a
Yeah,
part of your identity.
exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
that's so great. Well, Lena, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for joining us today on the podcast. And I always ask all my guests, what does beyond the scale mean to you? And I feel like you've already answered this, but if you have any words, parting wisdom that you'd like to leave our audience with.
Yeah. Beyond the scale just means it's given me the time and space to honor me. And so I am beyond grateful for that. There's just no words that can express what changes it's created in me. So
Mm.
thank you to you. Thank you. Shout out to Mike and Gina Aguirre and my coach Lucky at Highland Park Fit Body Bootcamp.
Awesome. Well, for everyone listening, if you are new to Fit Body Bootcamp and you're thinking about trying out bootcamp, you can go to fitbodybootcamp.com, type in your zip code, and see where there is a location nearby. And that's all we have today. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Beyond the Scale podcast. Please make sure to check us out on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, and share this episode with all of your friends. Until next time, you guys.
Thank you.